So we're going to start the video today with the first technique needed to do a kettlebell deadlift. We're going to use a mirror, you can use a wall, a stick, or any other thing to push back into. This is going to be a good way to measure and kind of keep our hip hinge the same between each movement. So we're going to ask Anastasia here to go soft knees. That's the first cue in this. That's going to unlock the knees. And then we're going to say hips back towards the wall while you reach your arms forward. This is going to really just set our hip hinge. Now for Anastasia, we've measured, and this is probably the perfect place for her to be. I'm gonna ask her to stay there for 1 second, but you may have to move your feet up or back depending on the motion, just to be able to get your hips back to the position where you're not gonna fall. Now you're not gonna fall there, Anastasia, right?
No, I'm good.
The wall wouldn't be there, good. So from there, I'm gonna have Anastasia bend her knees, sliding her butt down the wall, keeping the exact same angle of the chest towards the floor. From here, she would lower her hands down to where the kettlebell is, perfect position of the spine and hips. And then I'm gonna ask Anastasia to push the knees straight, thank you, and then hips off the wall until she gets into a straight position, ensuring to tuck when she gets back to that position. So a common fault we see here is when people come back, so run through the motion again one more time, Anastasia. Soft knees, hips back, slide down the wall. Common thing we see is either what she just did, which is having the chest too high, so she'll correct that by straightening out her knees a little bit and lifting your hips up just a little, perfect. And or when they come up right now, they'll come up with the chest first instead of straightening the knees first, creating a spinal extension moment at the spine and really recruiting the wrong things for our deadlift here. So this is a great way to practice and get some feedback from the wall as to where your hip hinge is. Second part in the video series for the kettlebell deadlift, after what you just viewed the hip hinge against the wall, is going to be lifting the kettlebell deadlift. So the first thing we're going to start with is the starting position. Right now, Anastasia is a little further back than I would like from the kettlebell because we want this heavy implement to be right under the base of support, or really the line of gravity on the body. With the kettlebell that far forward, it'll put a lot of unneeded stress on the back, and that's a lot of the reason why people say the kettlebell deadlift or deadlift in general can be bad for the back. So I'm gonna go ahead and have Anastasia move up so that her legs block the handle of the kettlebell, ensuring that the kettlebell is right in dead center. From here, we're gonna use the same cues we did on the wall, which is gonna be soft knees, hips back as far as she can go, hands forward, perfect as a good counterbalance. Then I'm gonna have Anastasia look down at the kettlebell and bend her knees and drop her hands just so she gets down to the kettlebell. She's gonna create a little bit of tension in the kettlebell, so almost lifting it a little bit before she comes up. Then the first thing she's gonna do is straighten the knees. Go ahead and pull and hips into the kettlebell. Good. From here, I would have Anastasia engage her abs and tuck her pelvis just a little bit into that while straightening out her knees. Now on the way down, it's going to be soft knees, hips straight back, look down, and then sit down, dropping the kettlebell down by the heels. Good. So on this next one, I'm going to have her lift up just like she did in a very good way. Go ahead, lift up. Good. Straighten the knees, hips into the kettlebell. Now on the way down, she's gonna do the first part very well, but the second part, she's gonna demonstrate a common fault seen in the kettlebell deadlift. So she's gonna go soft knees, hips back, and then as she goes to lower the kettlebell, she's gonna kind of push with the knees, and the kettlebell is gonna go forward towards the toes, creating more of a squat moment. Now this is gonna load the quads and the back, not what we're looking for from this exercise. So I'm gonna have her let go for a moment. I'm gonna have her reset, so move her feet up, good, just as we had before. And then she's gonna go ahead and lift it up. Much better, good. And put it down. And now the last thing she's gonna do is I want her to lift her chest up and make this a very squat-like exercise. So this is gonna be not the way to do it, right there. That's another common way we see people deadlift. It's a big problem. So I'm gonna want her to correct that. Putting it down, go ahead. Putting it down the right way, and if she gets into the bottom position just as she lifted there, with her hips a little bit higher, we're gonna be able to correct that. Very nicely done, thank you.